new here, my name is Shayna and I make videos every week. Today's video is all about my nose rings. Now I get a lot of questions in real life, I guess, off of YouTube about my double nose ring piercing. People really want to know where I got it done, how much it cost, the pain level, etc, etc. So today's gonna be all about a video about that. Now a little disclaimer to add to this is I'm actually not a professional, obviously, and just because something worked for me doesn't mean necessarily it's going to work for you. The healing process for mine is going to be a little bit different than everybody else's. Keep that in mind when you're listening to my nose piercing story, I guess you can say. And I guess we'll just get right into it. So I got my nose piercing done about, I want to say almost 2 years ago, around Christmas time. I did get it double pierced both at the same exact time. Now people want to know where I got my nose piercing done. I actually got it done at the Mall America here located in Minnesota, down in Bloomington. I did get it at Almost Famous on the 3rd floor, kind of really close to the east entrance. So if you're from Minnesota, that's where I got it from. I actually don't really recommend the place though. I felt like it was a little professional. Not that it wasn't clean or anything. It's just the technique she used ended up being extremely painful. And to have to go sit through 2 and have her like jerking the jewelry inside my nose, it was just very uncomfortable. So basically when I got there, I picked out 2 pieces of jewelry. Fortunately, I don't have the jewelry with me. I was going to show you guys. But technically they do pierce with I want to say it's either a 16 or an 18 gauge. I know from the standard point, which I'll insert right here because I'm not too sure right now. But I know from the standard point, she actually did pierce me a little size bigger. That reason, I don't know why. She didn't really explain that to me. I didn't really ask any questions because it was my first facial piercing outside of my ears. So basically, moral of the story is to do your research first and make sure they explain to you everything they do. Otherwise, you might be in for a surprise. So when I picked up my jewelry, it was actually on sale. Now, that being said, they always have a sale at Almost Famous. There is always buy one piercing, get one piercing free, but you pay for both sets of jewelry. Because of the sale, it ended up being around $88 for both piercings and jewelry to be taken place. We tried giving a tip, but she didn't take tips outside of cash, and at that point we didn't have any cash on us, so unfortunately we couldn't write in a tip, which is really sucky. So that was my fault, being that my first professional piercing that I've got done other than my ears. I should have remembered to bring cash with me, but I did not. Now it wasn't just like a special they had going on just for the time being, just trying to get more sales in. They actually have the sale going on 24/7, so it wasn't too out of the ordinary, and it wasn't anything to be aware of when I went to go get my piercing done. Like, usually people will tell you if they have a sale going on, probably not to do that. You don't want to get anything done for free because there could be a little string attached, you know what I'm saying. But because this was going on all the time, I thought because I was getting 2, it'd be a little bit better of a bargain for me. And my boyfriend at the time, which is now my husband now, I didn't want him spending a fortune for my Christmas present because my nose piercing was my Christmas present. So you go in and you pick out your jewelry, and then you fill out the waiver form, and then you get pulled back into the piercing table, and she marked the little dots on my nose, and we made sure we liked it. Now when I zoom in later to show you guys what they look like now, when they got pierced, they were up a lot higher than they are now, and I'll explain why that is in a second. But she marks the nose, and then she pierced one, and she put the corkscrew in. If you guys are brand new to nose piercings, there's about 4 different styles. There's the corkscrews when you normally get when you first get pierced, because it has a little curved edge. I'll insert a picture here. There's a curved bar, so it doesn't fall out when you're sleeping, technically. And when it swells up, it has extra room, so it'll be usually a little bit longer bar. And sometimes they will go in and clip them as well. But I had 2 of those in my nose, so they were kind of like fighting each other like a little Pirates of the Caribbean in there. But when she was twisting it in, it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. And when she did initially do the piercing, usually I've seen people do clamps, and they clamp the nose, and they put the needle through, or they put like a kind of like a bearing ball in there, so when they pop it through really quick, it will just catch it, and then you can put the jewelry in. When she did my piercing, She liked it very slow, hard pressure all the way through. Nothing holding it. She didn't even hold my nose. She just kind of like gently put her finger in there, and it was so painful. And I have piercings and tattoos. You know, I have tattoos here and here, you know, and my nose piercing happened to be the most painful thing that I have done. So after she put both bars in, my nose did swell up like crazy, and I was really swollen for, I want to say, like a good month or so. I was probably super swollen, and it probably took a little longer time for my swelling to go down, just because of the fact I did have two and they were fairly close with each other. So it just kind of was very uncomfortable. It was very hard to sleep as well. So after about, I want to say 4 months, I mean, I guess I got the piercing done in December, and then around the springtime, so maybe it was about 6 months, around the springtime, I actually got two open hook like C nose rings, and I'll insert a picture here. And I worked at a place called Piercing Pagoda, and it's actually a sister store of Zales. So they had top quality jewelry, top quality body jewelry, top quality earrings, top quality necklaces and bracelets, and they had the full shebang. Now, this is actually located in a lot of malls, so you guys might have a Piercing Pagoda actually in your mall right now, and you might have just walked past it thinking it's some gimmicky jewelry store. But I'm telling you right now, I did work there for about a year, and it's legit. It is Zales quality for a really cheap price. So I got all my nose piercing rings from there, including my rose gold ones I have in right now. They were a little expensive. I want to say they were probably like, no, they actually weren't too bad. They were probably around $30 a piece. And they had sterling silver, they had rose gold, and then they also had white gold. So it looked like silver, but it was actually gold. So if you have allergies to anything. And then they also have regular gold. So I actually purchased the rose gold, and that's what's in my nose now. But before I got to this point, I actually did purchase 3 sterling silver C-hook rings, which I'll insert a picture here. And I had a pink one and a black one, and those are pretty much half hoops. So you will put the pointy end inside your nose first, and you'll rotate them in, and then you'll have the flat bit on the back, and that'll be inside your nose. So when I went to go switch these piercing jewelries out, because my nose gauge was so large from the initial piercing, it was very uncomfortable, and they had so much extra space since they were starting to heal. I just really wanted to get rid of them and put in some C-hooks. So when I went to put these in, I could not for the life of me get the little curved bar out my nose, the corkscrew nose piercing jewelry out my nose. So I actually had to go in and have them take out that piece, which was extremely painful. I'm pretty sure she ripped it because she was like with the pliers like jerking my nose around. So after she got that out, she put in the C-hooks, which just slide right in, and then after that, my nose started to get keloids on the top of my nose bit right here. And I don't have them anymore, but I'll show you pictures of what they looked like too throughout the series of what I had done. So insert a picture here. And I'll show you and tell you how I got rid of those two at the end of the video, so keep tuned for that. But so I got those new piercings in, and my nose was super sore. And a big mistake that I made during the healing process of the nose jewelry being switched out is I went to a very small gauge. So I went from, I believe it was 16 or 18 gauge, which was like, seriously, it was that thick. And I, you know, worked at a jewelry store, so I can compare my nose ring after it was taken out compared to like a belly ring, and it was probably just like a size down from that. Don't know why she pierced it that big. It just, hence why I don't really recommend them. Yeah, I ended up wanting to take those C hooks out because it was starting to fall out on me in the middle of the night. And I actually ended up having to re-pierce one with the initial hook. Just the end piece got closed up. So it wasn't the whole initial piercing, just the last one had to be popped through. So doing that, I I had to reopen the hole a little bit. I don't exactly remember the size of those C-hooks, but I can look online and find out what size they were. I believe they were a size 18. That's why I believe that the piercing she did pierce me with was a size 16, because they were so much larger than the original one. But I will look and I'll insert it here as well. So I was pretty much over the pain of having to re-pierce my nose pretty much every day because the C-hooks kept falling out. And I did not feel comfortable enough putting a L shape or just a normal stud inside my nose. So I did end up going with full rose gold hoops. And I went with the rose gold because I thought maybe I had a bad allergy with the silver that was in my nose. And I thought maybe that was causing the keloids to get a little bigger and worse. So I did decide to switch them out. So I did take them home. I didn't go to get them professionally removed or anything because I did not want to go through the pain of having them with the pliers in my nose again. So I did just sit at my dining room table, and I had a lot of patience, and I was very determined to get these in, which did take me a very long time, by the way. So if you have the willpower and the patience to do it, then totally go for it at home. But so I did bring these 2 pieces of jewelry home, and I did buy 2 other sets of 3 of studs, because I thought maybe if I ever wanted to change them out at some point, I would be able to. So I did buy studs, and those were white gold with like little pink studs on the top. I still have photos of those, so I'll put those in here now. Okay, so here is the studs that I bought. Now I bought 2 packs of these because I have 2, and I didn't want 2 different colors of studs in my nose, so I did buy duplicates so I can have 2 the same colors. So these are, if it will focus. So this is a 14 karat. This is what I bought. I did use the little studs to keep my hole in place when I was trying to open up the rings, so I wouldn't necessarily have closed the nose hole all the way when I was trying to mess with it. Because those hoops were such a smaller size, even though they were bigger than the original C-hooks, I did have to stretch up my nose a little bit. Because the piercing that she did initially do was so large, when I put the smaller ones in and now they're officially healed after 2 years, they dropped so much. And I'll show you in a second when I show you my nose rings. And you can kind of see the scar when they were up higher. But now they're really, really low. And I've been debating on getting them redone. But I'm a little nervous considering the pain it was. And I just didn't really want to fuss with having them heal, taking them out, and then having them redone. So I guess at this point I'll just show you what they look like. So give me 1 second to adjust everything. Now keep in mind it's really dry here in Minnesota right now, so it's not very flattering being this close up to my face. I'm trying to focus it. Okay. So hint, it's not very flattering to be this close up to my face, so please have mercy on me. So when you're looking at it, I did put these rings in backwards because it was a lot easier for me, because I did not want to have to deal with trying to put them in from the inside out because they're already messing up a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can zoom up a little bit closer for you guys. Okay, so I gave up and I just kind of grabbed the camera here. Sorry if this is really up close. I know this is not the prettiest look ever, but I really wanted you guys to see what the piercing looked like. So as you can tell, this one is a little bit lower than this one, and I am wearing makeup today, so it is kind of hard to see where the holes were, but they were probably up here, just up here, and then they dropped that much because I put such a smaller gauge in there before they were fully healed, and that was totally my bad. But so usually the ball sits on the inside of the nose, but because I was too scared to try to put them in from the inside, and they weren't fully healed yet, and I really just wanted to get that other metal out of my nose, and I wanted them to heal properly, I did just put these gold ones in backwards. And I actually haven't touched them for 2 years now. So let me zoom back out. Hi. So I actually have not touched my nose rings in 2 years, so that's what they look like. They're now fully healed. I haven't put any new jewelry in yet. I'm a little scared because I think if I put in a smaller gauge, because I do have those studs that are a smaller gauge, I'm scared it's going to shrink to that. I don't want to have to deal with the pain of getting them stretched back out. A lot of problems that people have when they're getting their nose pierced is the keloid problem. And I did show a picture of what the keloids did look like, and if I didn't, I'll post one right here and right now. And one thing I did use is Eden's Garden essential oils, and that's actually my favorite brand, and I did have the brand sitting right here. Oh, I do. So this is not the tea tree one. This I ended up using all that, but this is what they look like. This is the Eden's Garden essential oils. This one's in bergamot, but don't use bergamot. I actually just use the tea tree one. And I opened the cap up. I put a Q-tip on the little dropper, and I put it upside down and let the Q-tip soak in all the tea tree oil. And then I'll just massage it on my keloids, inside my nose keloids, and around the hole. And that really made a difference on the healing process. That made things speed up really quickly, and the keloids did end up going away. The thing I used when I was healing my nose piercing was a sea salt soak. Now they did give you a bag of sea salt, and I'll go grab that in a second so you guys can see what that looks like. But I did use H2O spray because that was a lot easier than trying to put my nose inside a shot glass with some salt on it. It was very not fun for me to do. So I ended up taking a Q-tip too and dipping it in a stronger solution, I would say, so I can like put it on a little thin layer of paste with water, and then after a while I'll kind of wipe it away and rinse my nose off a little bit. That's basically everything that I did with my nose piercing when I did get it done, and the healing process. It took pretty much over a year for them to fully heal. I would say probably exactly at a year they fully healed, and I don't know if it was because I was taking jewelry in and out prematurely, or if it was because I was just allergic to the jewelry they initially pierced me with. So after all that, I do love them now. They are a little low. That's one thing I keep seeing. I have to buy really tiny little rings for them to actually fit in my nose. Otherwise, the really big ones are too big and they just flop over my face. Yeah, otherwise that is pretty much it. If you guys have not already, follow me on all my social medias. They will be listed down below. If you have not already, please subscribe so you can see more videos that are coming up. I do have a paranormal series going on right now, so I'll put that link down below for those 2 videos that I have posted right now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time.